This episode of Rookie Hunter is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Adventures in sheep country can change your life, and as residents of BC, we're very fortunate to have 3 different species of sheep in our province. After attending the Wild Sheep Foundation's annual convention, Sheep Show, in Reno, Nevada, we got to see what conservation looks like firsthand. The Wild Sheep Foundation's ability to raise and put millions of dollars on the ground each year to keep these majestic animals on the mountaintops worldwide is unmatched. The Wild Sheep family is a diverse group of people from all walks of life, and membership is open to anyone. Whether you're a seasoned pro, it's your first time on the mountain, or you just like to see sheep on the hillside, you can sign up and join today. Kelly and I are lifetime members, but you can become an annual member for just $45. You can also become a member of the Less Than One Club, which is the only club you want to get kicked out of. If you've never taken a North American or international ram, you can join us in the Less Than One Club for an extra $25. Plus, Less Than One Club membership also includes entry into a draw for 3 separate Doll sheep hunts, which will be given away at Sheep Show in 2019. For more information on the Wild Sheep Foundation and to become a member, head over to wildsheepfoundation.org. Hey guys, welcome to episode 76 of Rookie Hunter. This is our last episode before we head north, but don't worry, there is going to be more to come as we're away. If you want to listen to episode 77 in advance, it's already up on the website, so you can head over there and listen to it before it goes live on iTunes and all the other podcast providers. Of course, our website is therookiehunter.com. On this episode, we're just filling each other in on the last bits of prep we're doing, your last minute concerns. So, like I said, everything related to the show is on our website, including this episode and episode 77. You can find all that at therookiehunter.com, as well as our contact information and links to our sponsors, which are North Arm Knives and the Wild Sheep Foundation. Just another reminder that Sheep Show is now open for registration. So if you're thinking about going, head over to their website and get yourself signed up and get your buddies lined up to do it, get your hotel booked, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. So that's all I want to cover in this intro. Sit back, relax, and thank Jesus there's only a couple more days left in our sober September, which ran into sober October. So in a couple days, we too will be cracking a cold beer. Enjoy episode 76. Kelly, what's going on? No, not much. You?
Not much. Just getting a few days left to moose hunt.
Yeah, man.
I still have a lot to do.
I'm feeling a little stressed.
Yeah.
And sleep deprived. I've been waking up at it's been like 2:30 at night these last couple nights. And just like, fuck, I have so much stuff to do.
I kicked on the dehydrator. I bought a dehydrator.
Yeah.
And I put bananas, strawberries, blueberries, apples,
mushrooms.
And mushrooms. The mushrooms, I was like, I don't know if I should be putting these in with all this stuff, but I tried a couple mushrooms after and they seemed fine. But the smell coming out of that thing all night was like pure bananas and strawberries. So I was surprised that it's actually, the mushrooms aren't too bad. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I wouldn't have cared either way.
Right. Yeah.
If the mushrooms taste a bit like blueberries.
A little fruity. Yeah. I think that sounds good, actually.
So that load, it was about 8 trays. It took 10 hours.
Yeah.
Some stuff, what was it? Something took 6.
Yeah, there's
a few of the apples only took 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I took those off, and then the rest of the blueberries were actually the longest.
Yeah, there's a lot of liquid in those guys for sure.
So, I don't know. It's my first go with all this stuff. And ultimately, I'm going to, package everything, keep it in the fridge. And then I'm going to put it in like some of the stuff that I'm not 100%. Like it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
We're going to have big Yetis. If I'm really concerned about not maybe drying something enough, I'll just throw it in the cooler or whatever. Like it's kind of a learning curve.
Yeah. Most of the stuff, what I usually do, Kel, is like I've just got mason jars and I'll throw it. I'll leave it in there for like a couple of days with the lid off, and it sort of like just lets it. If there is any moisture left, and I'll just kind of shake it up and stir it around each day, and then usually, man, it's like it's all good, especially vegetables and stuff like that. Like if you're doing corn and peas and all that kind of stuff, it just turns into a rock. So you're like, yeah, that's good. The fruit you have to be a bit more careful with because you kind of want a little bit of moisture in there too, right?
Yeah, the blueberries were sketching me out a bit. Yeah, because if you let them go too far, they literally turn into little rocks. Yeah, but you can also let them not quite get to that point where they're kind of like raisins. Yeah, yeah. Which I feel like that's more what you want. I don't know.
Like you could go either way. If you went all the way and turned them into rocks, they'll still rehydrate. But if you want to eat them as a snack, like more like a blueberry raisin, you could do it that way too. This stuff will last a while, but yeah, it's better to be safe with it. Yeah, and you can tell like if it started to mold a little bit, you'll see it, but wouldn't hurt to keep it in the fridge for a few days. But some stuff you'll know, and you can just leave it in those jars with the lid open, and it's good.
Okay,
yeah.
The mushrooms, those were the ones that didn't take long.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like 4 to 6 hours, and the mushrooms were just crispy.
I did some tomatoes too. Those took a while, obviously, but it's funny. They just turn into like little dry pieces of paper. They don't look like much, but as soon as you throw them into something, they come back to life. That's kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, overall, I wanted to kind of do it this way for this trip, but at the same time, there's a bit of a time crunch, so I'm trying to learn this stuff, and I'm realizing that this trip may not be, the perfect one to go full blown do it yourself.
Yeah.
But I am going to try, and I do have like a couple packages, like packaged meals that I bought to kind of offset it, just because it is potentially 10 days.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go full blown, store bought. So it is good to offset it a bit. Next year, before hunting season, I'll probably spend like, a month or two ahead of time just, doing stuff on the side and prepping.
Yeah. I guess with this hunt, there has been less pressure to do this stuff ahead of time because it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. When we were going up last year, there's no way around it. We had to have all these meals prepped, and if it was Mountain House or whatever it might be, but we can bend the rules a little bit this time because we can bring canned meat, or we can, I'm going to bring up like 2 nights worth of bear sausages for Kevin and I. I think you're doing the same for you and Kyle. So we can still do some meals like that, but I think the goal was to go up there as light as we could just so that we had the room. But now that I've seen Kyle's trailer, I was picturing, do you remember what my dad's quad trailer was like?
Yeah. Or like a little flatbed type.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a 6 foot, whatever.
Basically, he's pulling up like
it's a full blown, it's like a 12 to 14 foot flatbed type situation with like a boxed enclosure on it and rods like on the front and the back. So we're going to throw the canoe on top. We're going to have the quad in there. Nice. And the big Yeti's going to go in the back of the truck with the bed flipped up.
Oh, cool.
Although it could go anywhere with the enclosed.
Yeah.
But we're going to throw that in the canopy. When you have a big cooler like that, it's heavy empty, and it's extremely heavy with stuff in it. So we got to be smart about where we're putting it and how we're packing it.
Well, that's the thing. We have to remind ourselves that we should be putting meat into it in the place that it's going to stay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll need a forklift to lift that thing up.
We'll have to unload it and then do it all over again.
Yeah. So, which will be a big deal as long as we don't think, let's go. And then we try and pick it up. And I'm sure 4 of us could get it up, but why would you break your back if you don't have to?
And I don't know, like, the handles on the Yeti or the cord, it's like, as I punch the microphone, it's like cord with a plastic handle, which I assume is very strong, but I don't know about like 400, 500 pounds strong.
No, you're going to want to kind of use the lip around the top to, definitely want to avoid snapping that. I'm sure it's strong as hell. I'm sure they don't cut any corners with that thing, but.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. But it's just something that popped into my mind.
Yeah. Going back to the food side of things, for prepackaged stuff, I did this when we went up north too and got some udon. There's this stuff that we've got a girl from Hong Kong that she's a homestay that goes to Ashley School. She stays with us, and she's kind of turned us on to like the good stuff. You know what I mean? So these ones are from Korea, I think, and they bring them into like the specialty Asian markets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she actually went and picked some up for me. So what I'm going to do is I brought 4 of them, and I'm going to combine them so 2 for each meal kind of thing. So I've got lots, and then I'll add an extra vegetables. I'm actually going to bring a couple of raw eggs to put in the one of the Yetis and cook those up in the udon as well.
Cool.
So be lots of protein in that, and that's just a super easy one to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing pastas. I think I have like 3 different pastas that I'll do, and then 2 rices, and then the bear sausages for a couple nights. Those would probably be the first couple nights that we're there.
Yep.
So it's not too crazy. Oatmeal for breakfast, that's super easy to put together. And then just snacks. I already picked up some pepperoni. I've got mango. I've got all the fruit that I've dried. I want to just grab like some dark chocolate bars, and I also grabbed some bagels that I froze because those can just stay in the cooler.
Yep.
That'll be kind of nice.
Everything bagels at the that nice garlic smell that travels.
No, I got do you know Mount Royal bagels here?
No.
There's one in Kelowna. I think there's one in Victoria. They're make the best bagels. They're
Nice.
like fresh every day. It's on Sutherland. You should go check it out. They do a good jalapeno and cheddar bagel. Load it up on
Maybe
those.
I can this weekend. I'm getting to the point now where it's like if I go to one place and get everything,
Yeah.
I just have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the specialty stuff is definitely key.
Yeah. And just freeze them. They'll be rock hard, and then huck them in the Yeti, and they'll stay frozen until you're ready to use them. So that's kind of the nice thing. And we're starting to lean more towards bringing more food because as we're reading about the Yeti, it's better to have the thing full.
Yeah.
Like the airspace inside the cooler is your enemy.
Yeah.
So I also went and bought, somebody gave us a tip to freeze water in milk jugs. I actually just went and bought bottled water and huck that in the freezer today.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to line the bottom of
I was actually just going to do that so I won't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the way.
Okay. I've got a couple jugs of water.
Sweet.
And I also have a couple blocks of ice that I'm going to put in for 24 hours before.
Nice.
Then I'm going to, if they're melted, I'll take them out. If they're not, I'll leave them in. But
they won't be, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It'll just be like 1 block of ice and an empty 210. So I just don't know how that's going to work. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yep.
But just the point is just to pre-cool the cooler.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I'm going to line the bottom with all the frozen water bottles.
Yep.
And then any stuff that I've frozen, like those bagels and stuff like that, I'll line those up on top too. And then maybe pick up a couple of blocks to chuck in there too. Okay. The 210, we might want to stop and throw, I don't know, at least 4 blocks in there probably.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just load it up with ice, and then if we need space, we can just take it out.
Yep.
So
one other thing food related was in kind of getting into this dehydration thing, and that you don't, in most cases, you won't have the bag that you pour the water into and then you seal it and then you let it sit for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, well, how do we do this in a way that doesn't require you to keep your gas running for 15 minutes, right? So then I was on YouTube and watching all these like minimalist backpacking type videos, and they're like rehydrating the food with the stuff you put in your windshield that reflects the sun out in the summertime.
Yeah.
You put it in your car. I got just one of those, cut it up, and you basically make a cozy for just your pot, and a little lid for it. Use that reflective duct tape basically.
Yep.
And then you make this thing, you make a little bit of room so it's easy to slide in. And once you get your food cooked, your oatmeal or whatever, put the lid on it, put that cozy on top, let it sit there for 15 minutes. You don't have to run your gas.
Yeah.
Keeps all the air, hot. And when you take that thing off, even after 20 minutes, it's just like singeing hot.
Yeah, I bet.
So if you want to save fuel, check out some YouTube videos on I don't know what they're called, like stove cozies or something.
Cool. Nice. It's funny. It's glad you reminded me of that because I found a link, and meant to send it to you. But there's this another blog that I found, same kind of like through hiker type thing, and they actually just put the hot water into the Ziploc, which I don't necessarily want to do just because you're dealing with plastic. It just hot water and Ziploc bag doesn't sound that great, but this guy does it. So, same idea as like the mountain house things, right? You're just leaving them in there, but so there are ways
a way to kind of trap that heat and let it work for you rather than burning your gas.
Totally.
I just got to reach over and show you this.
Okay. Nice.
We have another canoe. So we have 2 canoes going up now, which I'm pretty stoked about.
Yeah, we've got mine, and it's the other one's my brother-in-law's. And I'll be picking mine up on Saturday, strapping her to the roof, and they're both yellow Clipper canoes. Be pretty sweet. Pretty excited. We had 2 guys write in to us. I don't remember their names offhand, but they just got back from the same region that we'll be in, and they had some success. We might have to talk to those guys at some point and talk about their trip, but they were calling from the middle of the lake and stuff like that too. So got me excited to make use of those canoes and call from there and see if you get any response, any noise out there. And it should be fun, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
There's so many lakes up there that, 2 of us could go in one lake, 2 of us could go check out another lake, or we could just go opposite ends of the same lake. And it should be cool.
I went back home for Thanksgiving, back to the Kootenays, and we were at the in-laws' place, and Randy, who's been on the show, one of the earlier episodes, like in the basement, he's got a bunch of stuff down there.
Yeah.
Like a portion of what he actually has historically, but big mule deer racks and a mountain goat and the biggest whitetail I've ever seen and big black bear, and he's also got a bunch of paintings, and there's like 3 paintings of moose, and every single one of them was exactly how I imagine. When you get to the end of the lake and then all that long grass starts popping up, and it gets kind of marshy, and then the river or the creek gets very narrow, and then the moose is just standing right in that spot.
Nice.
Every painting was like that, and I was just like dozing off looking at those paintings, like I'm pretty sure. I think that's what's going to happen.
I hope so. That's the image I have in my head, man. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, but the only thing I wonder about with the canoes is like based on the location. I mean, that lake is pretty big, and I think we can go to different ends. But if we don't get any action or sign like in this area, or like the canoes are almost, I mean, I guess we can pick up, leave, bring the canoes to other
exactly.
lakes.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But it kind of depends on the roads and stuff too once we get up there. So we'll see.
I was looking at satellite images, and the roads look pretty good. Especially the main one looks like a really solid road.
The one I'm most concerned about is the one heading just the last bit, heading right into the lake.
Yeah.
It looks almost totally green. So I'm a little concerned about that.
I'm slightly concerned about that one too, but I don't know. We'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
We shall see. But, I was thinking about it. It's not that far, and we could always hook up the trailer to the quad and pull everything back there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That crossed my mind too.
Yeah. Yeah. I started thinking like, oh man, it'd be nice if we had one of those like wheel carts, and then you could just like put the canoe on there, throw all your shit inside of the canoe and just wheel it in. Right.
Yep.
But, I don't know. We'll figure it out. If we have to bushwhack our way into that place, so be it. Because I think it looks like a beautiful spot. So, and it's got tables and a shit house and
an island.
There's a couple little islands out there and streams on either end of the lake. So, can't wait to check it out.
And hopefully some fish. I'm bringing a rod.
I'm bringing a rod too.
Just a little ugly stick.
Nice
spin.
Yeah, for sure.
I would pack all the fly fishing stuff up there too, but then you end up in a canoe with another guy and you got this 9-foot rod whipping around. It gets tough to manage
this time of
year, especially
year,
if a moose pops out.
Yeah, this time of year, I think it's good just to throw a line out and do some trolling. That's what we would often do up at the the old cabin there.
Yeah.
And
you can put a fly on the end of your anything really.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that fish in those kind of lakes are accustomed to tackle. I think they'll be more willing to, bite some type of fly like a spratly or something.
We'd usually do like a worm on a wedding ring and troll around that way.
Or that too, yeah.
Slay them. And the canoe too, the rhythm of it, that really gets things moving. They like
natural.
That, right? Gets it flashing and that. So yeah, I guess we'll have a couple of different rigs then, because I'm going to bring up my trolling rod and just hang that off the back of the boat.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you have any last minute concerns or thoughts about anything? My main one was just that last little road.
That was mine too. There's I know a lot of guys use Google Earth.
Yeah.
But there's another app called ArcGIS.
Okay.
And it's got much better, depending on what area you're in, it has better satellite imagery.
Okay.
It's only available on Windows. That's not available on Apple. But yeah, I've been looking on there quite a bit. They also have the option to like do elevation exaggeration.
Right.
Which I do once in a while, because you know how when you look, it always seems flat and then you get there and it's not. So I always bump the exaggeration up by like 3 points.
Yeah.
And then I just assume it's going to be that bad.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
So I kind of do that. And but just to go back to that road, it looks, pretty grown in. But, in that area of the province, maybe, the ground is hard, like you said, and maybe it'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll soon find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the area in general?
No, I'm just looking forward to it. I think you checked the weather and it's supposed to be pretty decent.
Looks really nice. Yeah.
I was a little concerned about snow, and there is one area that it's almost like a little mini mountain pass.
Yeah.
That we have to go through. But again, looking at a map and being there is two totally different things. And my hunch is that it's a gradual climb and then a gradual kind of back down again. It's not like, straight up and straight down.
I was looking at Google Maps and I actually followed the whole, so I had it in like the terrain view and I followed the whole road just to kind of get a sense of it. And it is just that one section. And I think it is pretty gradual. And for the most part, it's at a decent elevation that should be doable. And I think even if we get a little bit of snow, it'll be the first snowfall up there. The ground temps are still warm enough that it hopefully won't stick around too much either.
Yep.
But something to be mindful of, especially I've got it's a Mazda CX-5 that I'll be using. That thing's really good in the snow, but it's all-wheel drive, but it's not four-wheel drive. So, if you need the four-wheel drive, it's not like you can just throw it in there.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think it should be okay, but it's just one of those things. If you're getting into really steep stuff coming down the other end of it's not that fun if you got, a steep road and a tight corner and a drop off to the other side.
Big truck and a trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
With a quad on it.
Yeah. So anyways, I think we'll be okay because I know what those Caribou roads are like.
Yeah.
And they're pretty well used, pretty well maintained because they're like main arteries for logging and stuff like that. And those guys are going through there all the time. So So hopefully, best case scenario, everything's good, but obviously be prepared for the worst. I got the winters on. I put them on yesterday. So we're ready to rock there.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that thing's pretty awesome in the snow if we do get into it. But I don't want to get trapped back there if it's like dumping.
No.
But I don't see it happening. But you never know. Yeah.
Oh, hey, bud. I scared Oscar.
Yeah, man. And then otherwise, I'm just trying to get work off my plate. And so are you. You had a last minute pile of nonsense come at you.
Yeah. It always happens.
Yeah.
It's like part Murphy's Law, but part just making sure that you get everything done so that you can kind of step away for that amount of time.
Be relaxed. Yeah.
And also not come back to a complete problem.
Yeah.
So it's always a balance, but
we'll get her.
There's 1 day left in the week.
Mm-hmm.
Couple days left on the weekend to get all my packing done, and then I'm heading out Monday morning, and you're heading out Sunday morning, right?
Yeah, I'm running that that mech race.
Yeah,
which is at 9. It starts right at 9. I'll probably be like, just take just over 20 minutes, and I'm gonna hop right in the car, get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to miss it. It's the last one of the year, so
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, yeah, you'll probably be rolling in pretty close to sundown then. Like
you'll be
with
right
an hour
on.
or two
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. So Kevin and I are both packing food, so we don't have to stop or anything like that, other than for fuel and a piss break. So we don't have to kill any time that way. We're just gonna haul ass and see how far we can get.
We're gonna leave around 6, so I'll have an early morning, and then we are gonna stop and we'll probably pick up like Timmy's on the way, and then have a bit of a lunch, and then from there it's like camp food.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to pack some healthy stuff to eat on the way up there because it's
maybe I'll just buy 10 Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
No, they stink too.
Yeah, definitely.
A sub a day keeps the bears away.
Yeah, maybe. Or it draws them in. I don't know.
Yeah. Subway sandwiches for everyone.
For everyone. Yeah, so I got my pack ready today. I got everything in there. It's a bit more loaded because we're all bringing our own tents. So I got my whole tent in there.
Mm-hmm. I'm bringing my tent.
Yeah.
It's already like dirty from the last.
Yeah, nice.
Like no sense dirtying up 2 tents.
Yeah. Well, I've got mine, so we'll all be bunking in our own tents, which is kind of nice.
Well, does Kev have a tent too?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And he snores, so we're gonna set him up.
Oh yeah,
like 100 miles
one
away.
of those islands.
We'll put him out there. Yeah,
we'll just ship him off there in a canoe with his socks.
You could just sleep in the canoe and just kind of float around the lake all night long.
Yeah,
sounds nice actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's in there except my food. I'm gonna put in a separate dry bag.
Well, you know what? We should actually put Kev in the canoe, tie it in a rope, let him go out there, because you know how sound travels on the water.
Yeah.
And then when he lets those snores go, I bet you will have like 8 moose there in the next morning. You just take your pick.
They're all just standing around the lake.
Good work, Kev.
Nice. Sweet. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. I just wanted to give folks an update before we left. And I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to talk about, really.
No, I think that's it. It's, we don't know everything, right? We're just going to go see what happens and try to be prepared for as much as we can. So, and then ultimately just have fun. Yeah.
Have you been working on your moose call?
I watched the few episodes of I've watched the whole season a couple times, Meat Eater.
Yeah.
And there's the episodes 2 and 3 with Giannis's dad there.
Yeah, those are the only 2 that I've watched, and they were awesome.
Yeah, they're really good. And he does a cow call, which doesn't seem that hard. And I did a few because I had to drive back to trail by myself.
Nice.
So I was letting a couple rip. And
I've been doing it in the car too.
In the car, yeah. It's just like, plug your nose and kind of sound a little bit like a cow, but it doesn't seem too complicated. Maybe we can do some when we're out there and like, let's be honest with each other and be like, I think you're, it's a little pitchy. Because ultimately we want to get a moose. So like, let's not let each other run around making like shitty calls. It's
funny because I've been driving around in the car doing it too. And Oscar's always riding shotgun with me.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really paid much attention to it, but I was doing it this morning. We went for a little hike this morning, and he like shot up and looked at me. I'm like, yes, I think I nailed it. If it got his attention, it's probably the sound I'm going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool. Well, we'll practice on the way up. Maybe when we're doing the podcast from the vehicle or the camp, we can give people a sample of how bad our moose call is.
So the nice thing about having a camp, Cal, is that like we will have a bit of time to relax during the day because we were moving around so much when we were up north, but we've got a designated camp. So I think there'll be time to come back and relax in the, in the midday kind of stuff. So we can do some recording. I'm hoping we can do a bit of fishing and we can record out in the canoe. And so I think we'll come back with quite a bit of material from the trip. that should be fun and entertaining to listen to, regardless of the results of what happens up there. And we're going to be hunting for deer and stuff too. That's an option.
Mule
as
deer.
well. Mule
Actually,
deer.
there's any buck, mule deer, any buck, whitetail, and any whitetail, and then any buck, mule deer.
Oh, so antlerless is open up there too. Oh, sweet.
From the day I get up there, so it'll be a day after.
Yeah, nice.
15th.
Cool. Yeah, and any moose.
Yeah, so I mean, we've talked about not taking more than you need, and 2 moose may be that too much. But on the other hand, I think a deer on the side.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I would be totally open to that. Yep. And that's what we did on the elk hunt.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect.
And you can go through a deer pretty quick, even just one family.
Yeah.
If you turn it into some things and you also do some cooking and special cuts and all that. So I'm not too concerned about the deer side in terms of space and consumption. But
we could get one, decent size. If we break it all down, we can get 1 deer in the 65.
Yeah.
And then still have the 210 ready for a moose. And some of the moose meat might have to stay outside of the cooler, but I think we're going to be able to hang it, cool it down really good. And if we have to drive with one of them exposed, well, obviously in game bags and everything, and just throw some blocks of ice underneath of a tarp and put the meat on top, I think we'll be in good shape, man. It should be cool enough. So yeah, should be fun, man. I can't wait to get out of here.
Yep. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
If it's anything like the elk hunt, we'll be in for a good time.
Oh yeah. How do you like your testicles, Kel?
They're pretty good.
How do you like them cooked? I have a photo on my phone, actually. Maybe I should put that up on Instagram, and we can let everyone decide if you need to be punished. So tell the story, Kel.
Well, there's a couple, I had an exception day early because it was my anniversary, which was like first week of September.
Yep.
And then I had this other arrangement that, it's my wife's birthday the first week of October.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 situations that are...
Wait, whose birthday was it?
My wife's.
So it wasn't your birthday?
No.
Okay, continue.
So those are technically, a month and 3 days apart, right? So my case is from the first exception day to the second exception day was 30 days. And it also was not my idea to extend it to the October 15th. So that's a secondary amendment to the original agreement.
The extra 15 days was your fault anyways, right?
Well, that was due to the first,
first challenge.
But my point is I made it 30 days from the first exception to the second exception was technically a month, which was the original agreement. And then, we extended it to the 15th based on the first mess up. However, the 30-day goal was actually met. It was just offset.
We'll send it to the jury. Does Kelly eat a testicle? Yes or no? I say he does.
And you know what?
What?
It would be nice to, we need to do like a live Instagram podcast one of these days.
We should.
With participation.
Yeah, should do that. All right. Send an email, info@therookiehunter. Do it now.
Jury.
To the jury. That could be the subject line.
Yeah.
And I told you I have that really good recipe. I'll eat some too, but you're going to eat one full one.
Oh man, I don't think I can eat a full one. But
you're going to have to. Well, we'll see what
if I have to taste one, I'll taste one.
And if we get an overwhelming response of people writing in and saying that you got to eat a full one,
then I'll break it over a couple years. I mean, Norris is eating his right now. Or sorry, Oscar.
Come on, bud. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Get out of here.
All right, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, there is a podcast coming out next week for anybody who's on iTunes or any podcast app. It'll come out on the Tuesday automatically. If you want to go to our website, this episode and next week's episode are going to be up right away. So If you want to listen to both of them in advance, you can do that from the website, which is the rookiehunter.com. Our next episode is with Corey Pearsall from Sitka Gear, and he's talking about processing wild game from home. It was a fun conversation. So hope you guys dig that. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I can't wait to have a beer.
Cheers.
Cheers. This episode of Rookie Hunter was also brought to you by North Arm Knives. North Arm Knives are handcrafted and sold directly through a father and son team right here in British Columbia. Choose from a selection of outdoor knives, kitchen knives, and custom engravings from northarmknives.com. They ship internationally and guarantee all of their work. Kelly and I have put their products to the ultimate test and give them our stamp of approval. Head over to northarmknives.com.